The trap was a simple concept and worked remarkably well. Just set off a distress beacon and watch the idiots scramble to help. You just need to be sure you work the trick on a less travelled route, where the local authorities are spread thin. Ideally, a frontier area where everybody knows there isn't much help to be found, so everybody is willing to stop by and help the instant there's a distress call. Granted, the cargo and ships you salvage after spacing the crew in these parts of the galaxy aren't the best, but a space-worthy vessel has solid value, even if the cargo doesn't. Hit a few ships, then move on to a new area before the locals catch on. This would be our third and final acquisition in this region of space, and hopefully provide just enough gravy on top of our current spoils to pay for a vacation, at least one full cycle long. An Arthoxian cargo hauler was approaching our distressed ship, which was pretty close to ideal for us. The crew compartment only supports a crew of 3 sapients at most, and often is piloted by solo or duo teams. Value-wise, Arthoxian haulers might be small, but they are quite reliable, adaptable to a wide range of sapient races, easy to repair, and fast to flip for good credits because they are always in demand in tougher sectors of space. After 15 time units of playing dead in space, we felt the external lock of a boarding tube connect to our airlock. There was a gentle hiss as the docking arm went through the safety handshakes and confirmed an airtight seal. The door opened, and nobody was there. Fraxic stepped cautiously out of cover and started to move towards the open hatch when a figure suddenly appeared in the airlock and 2 loud bangs followed. Something exploded out of Frasic's back, and he fell backwards onto the deck unmoving. Jarek reacted quickly, and with a smooth motion swung his weapon up, but a weapon already raised and being named reacts faster than being one brought to bear. 2 more sharp cracks, and the back of Jarek's head was missing. The second fire team realized this was a fight, and quickly had weapons at the ready and advanced slowly towards the docking corridor. We heard over their open suit cam feeds a steady metallic clunking of armoured footsteps approaching them. As they prepared to round the corner to ambush our unexpected foe, the unthinkable happened. The docking ramp from the other ship suddenly disconnected, opening our ship to the void of space. The sudden decompression threw our team off balance for just a moment, and the figure stepped around the corner to meet them, while the airlock slammed shut in response to the emergency. Slightly taller than normal, bipedal, 2 arms, medium-sized torso, and a head. We couldn't quite get a clear read on species, as bipedal isn't too uncommon in the galaxy, but we could see that it wore a heavy void suit that appeared to be armoured. There were scratches and missing paint that indicated the suit was likely old or, at the very least, heavily used. A thin visor on the helmet was the only clue that this species had only forward-facing eyes, but as the tinted visor was a single solid piece, there was no way to confirm the creature's optical receptors or their location. It held a relatively compact pistol in one hand, with the second cupped around the first, in an obvious method to support the main hand holding the weapon. "Look out!" the captain yelled over comms, as the thing came into view, but it was already too late. Our fellow crew were disoriented and off balance from the sudden depressurization. Crack, crack! Jada fell. Crack, crack! Chikra spun from the force of whatever hit him before collapsing on the floor. After a moment of shocked silence, the enemy appeared on Jada's camera feed again. It was looking over Jada's body and seemed to be performing a quick search. Finding her backup power packs, it looked at them momentarily before flipping the body face down and killing our view. We saw the armor this thing wore was a pattern of random dark greys, with barely visible markings and a matte deep black paint on the upper left chest. We saw the letters UTM in Galactic Standard next to a rectangular box with a circle inside. The circle had a strange design none of us had seen before. "Run recognition on that symbol!" the captain yelled at me with panic in his voice. I quickly complied and typed a search query for our ship database to run a comparison of both the letters and the symbol against all known. While the image search began, the thing picked over Chikra's body and pulled his spare power packs. With dread, I realized that our plasma rifles are not DNA locked, as we need to use them while wearing void suits. The pistol the thing had was unexpectedly powerful, and now it had 2 good plasma rifles as well. As we were waiting for the results, the figure approached the hatch to the inner section of the ship. It raised its pistol to tap the camera mounted on top of the door. "Open the door, and you'll live," the figure said into the camera, with a gruff, electronically generated voice in Galactic Standard. It was likely using a translation matrix to communicate. Enraged, the captain opened comms and screamed at the thing. "Go screw yourself! I'll kill you for what you've done to my crew!" "Fine," the figure responded. "Let's see if you're smart and know what this will do." In full view of the camera, our enemy put away their pistol and pulled out a small tool from their belt. It then casually pried off the side panel of Jada's plasma rifle, exposing the internal wiring. With one appendage on its right hand, it probed the internals until it found a particular set of wires. Pulling them out, 2 wires were then shoved into one of the spare power packs it had scavenged from our fallen crewmates. Tshirt explained this trick to me once as an emergency measure of last resort, and nothing I should ever attempt unless desperate. When configured like this and shot with another plasma rifle, it would create a cascade failure, and the weapon would explode violently with both explosive force and superheated plasma that can melt through armored plate. But attempting this is dangerous, as everything can explode in your hands if you cross the wrong wires. I watched in horror as the thing then pulled out and used some sort of dark tape to strap the loose power pack to the plasma rifle. As it tore off a final piece of tape, the computer finished its search and displayed the results of the image search. United Terra Marines and the Flag of Earth, both inactive. Former military designation used by human forces from the Sol system. Superseded by the United Terran Defense Force, following the end of the 4th Terran integration conflict, which concluded 20 galactic standard cycles ago. Equipment bearing UTM markings is often sold through human Army-Navy stores and is popular with Terran spacers and veterans on all sides of the conflict. One last time. What I now knew was a human said into the door camera. "Open the door and surrender, you live. If not..." It held up the other rifle, and the handful of extra power packs. "If you're going to give me toys to use as grenades, I'll happily make it messy for you." "There's 4 of us and only 1 of them," the captain said with an edge in his voice, clearly exposing panic and a hint of madness. "Grab your plasma pistol. This human thinks they can challenge us on our own vessel. We'll teach them." "All right, have it your way," the human said, as he was clearly taping the modified rifle to the door. I nodded at the captain. "I'll provide cover fire from here in the cockpit." Good, the captain responded, while I did a slow and intentional safety check of my weapon. "We'll have a perfect crossfire." He then stormed out with a heavy laser rifle, gripped firmly in his tentacles. I heard furniture scraping as the captain and my other 2 crewmates prepared for the human. I stood up and calmly placed my pistol on the pilot's control station across the room from me, in full view and well out of claw's reach. I raised both my claws and knelt down facing my computer station and closed all 3 of my eye stalks. And waited. Boom! A clattering as the door exploded or was blown off its hinges and fell into the room. Screams and blaster fire followed. Crack! I heard scuffling, a sickening, gurgling sound, and more blaster fire, accompanied by screams of rage. Then the sound of something metal clattering in the room behind me. Boom! Metallic boots moving calmly and entering the room. Crack, crack! A scream of rage and fast footsteps from the captain. Crack, crack, crack! Metallic boots moving calmly again. Crack! The gurgling sound stopped, and metallic boots approached the cockpit. "Well," the human's voice said behind me, "at least one of you has a brain."